Hi, my name is John Hoffnagels. I work for Toshiba America Business Solutions. Toshiba, like a lot of big companies, is really made up of a bunch of other little companies. The company that I work for, Toshiba America Business Solutions, is the company that deals with the copiers and the faxes and the printers, the office automation division. We actually have 5 divisions. We only have 4 boxes up there, but we actually have a 5th division, which is our, we have EID, which is our distribution arm. They're the ones who sell, to the general public, to all our dealer networks. We also have a retail arm. In other words, they're dealers that we own ourselves, but they operate as wholly owned subsidiaries. We do document solutions engineering. We also make the toner for our products, and we actually have a Latin America version of our retail system, TBS. We have about 3,500 employees, about 1.06 billion per year, and right now we have about 800. I think we're closer to 1,000 probably SFDC users within the next couple of weeks. We're bringing on a whole new group in the first week in January. So, and the subsidiaries, we have 13. Like the part of the TBS organization, there's 13 individual wholly owned subsidiaries. They all came from, most of it through acquisition from other smaller dealerships over the last few years. So we had basically separate databases, separate ERP systems. We had a lot of things that over the last 5 or 6 years we've been bringing together and consolidating into one Oracle system. So the challenges we faced when we came up with Salesforce.com. First thing is that we needed to quickly integrate Salesforce.com. It was a major investment for us. We had a very short time frame to bring Salesforce.com on, and we had a variety of data sources that we all had to get, both on-premise and third-party, that we had to try to get into that system, so that when we brought sales reps and they went for their first day of training, they turned on the system and they saw what they expected to see. We had a very short time frame to implement a solution, days versus weeks, essentially. And our in-house IT, which we have a fairly decent-sized in-house IT, very, very capable of integrating systems. They've done it in the past. However, they could not match our time frame. So we went to look for other routes. We reviewed a number of different companies. We looked at Cast Iron, Pervasive, and Informatica Cloud. After deciding Informatica provided the best solution from the line of business perspective, we brought IT in and we had them look at the technical side and check out all the security and all the different things. They also wanted to look at Oracle Fusion and look at a custom-built solution. At the end of the day, they agreed with us. They couldn't make our time frame, so Informatica Cloud was the best solution for us. So what Informatica Cloud helped us achieve? So historically, we had sales reps that had to go in to multiple sources in order to gather the information they needed to manage their accounts. We had an Oracle ERP system. We have a company called Tesseract, which does our service billing. We have third-party leasing companies. In this industry, in the copier industry, about, I don't know the number, it's got to be close to 90% of all sales are actually leases. And so they're leases through third-party companies. So what's important, and one of the key pieces of information a sales rep in our industry can have is, where's the customer in their lease term? When is their machine going to be up for renewal? When can I go in there and upgrade that machine? And most of that information resides with third-party leasing companies. We do know when we first sign the deal what the terms are and all of that, but fortunately we don't do a good job of tracking that in our normal ERP system. And because the relationship is really between the customer and the lease company, we can lose some of that information over time as well. We also had some legacy, and I put SFA in quotes because it really wasn't your ideal Salesforce automation tool. But we had 13 different subsidiaries, so basically we had actually more than 13 different databases. We had something like 18 or 19 databases that we worked with. We had customer-related data that was updated daily, but it was inaccurate. We had a lot of duplicate records. We had incomplete records. We had a number of other things going on. And most of the other data that the sales reps needed, they had to go out and get manually. Sometimes the sales rep would go out and gather it. Sometimes the sales admin would go do it. Again, inaccurate and not very timely. So today, we have a single view of all needed data. We're able to fully import all of our legacy CRM data, 18 different databases. We get now hourly updates from our ERP systems. We get weekly updates from our leasing company, and we're able to quickly make adjustments to data integration without IT being involved. One of the best things that Salesforce offers is the ability to make changes very quickly to the system. You can add a field in a minute. You can create a custom object. You can do all sorts of things. But if, on the other hand, you can't get anything to put in that field for 6 months while you're waiting for, to go through our IT process, what's it really help you? So with a tool like Informatica, it allows us to basically match the data as quickly as we can create the field. So these are kind of ugly slides, just 2 of them. But I wanted you guys to see that here we've got our accounts. They're just screenshots of little pieces of screen. So here's our main account record, and you'll see that there's the main account information up from the top. That's actually coming in from our Oracle ERP system. Underneath that, we have our equipment records, which is actually coming out of another bolt-on system to our Oracle system. And then at the very end, there you'll see some legacy CRM notes. That's actually data that we brought in from their old 18 databases. Here's another slide with a couple more. Here's another screen. Here is an equipment detail screen. This is coming again from our bolt-on system. We've got maintenance contract information. This is it's very important for sales reps to understand what their customers are paying for their maintenance deal, and not having to pick up the phone and call the service department or call somebody and have them go check what the customer pays for their copier maintenance. They want to be able to have it. This comes from yet another source. At the very bottom, we've got leasing information. This is the third-party leasing companies that I'll keep talking about because the information is so important to our organization. So you basically had 6 different sections there and 2 slides, and all 6 of them are getting data from a different source, all in real time, all coming in, or essentially real time, all coming in to one spot for the sales reps to be able to see all the information they need. And we use Informatica for all of it. So here's just a screenshot of Informatica, one of the activity monitor. I just randomly picked a day and brought it up and took a screenshot of what was on there. So we use it for CRM data integration. We use it for record maintenance. We use it for all sorts of things. Here's 2 jobs running in the background. We've got something that's correcting some things going on in Salesforce.com directly, and another one is bringing data from an off-site, an on-premise system, and integrating it into our Salesforce.com database. So Informatica Cloud is used to schedule repeatable processes and for real-time transformations. So as you can see at the top there, there's a number of things that are scheduled. They're coming in from all sorts of different data sources. They're coming in all different types of the day. We've got, again, Informatica is the one place where all the data is now coming through and going into Salesforce.com. And by the way, the last 3 are IT created those. So we'll talk a little bit more about that in a minute. The activity monitor, the other piece down there on the top, is just an example of something that's ad hoc. Someone sends a list and says, hey, can you get this loaded into our system? And I think somebody said before it was a 10-minute job. That particular job probably finished running in about 15 minutes. Okay, so data mapping. I just wanted to show you just how easy. I know this may not look easy, but I actually went to school in California and I did this. So it can't be that difficult to do. So you have, with data mapping, it's as easy as dragging and dropping. You have transformation coding. You have database lookup capability. There's even a button to validate that what you did is right, both when you're creating an actual expression, or when you're done with everything, you can hit the validate mapping. It'll come back and tell you if you did anything wrong. Just this morning, I logged in before I came here, and I had an email because something died yesterday. Some Informatica job failed. It sent me an email. I didn't see it until this morning. Turns out that one of our source files, the database changed, or they changed a field on it. It just changed the name of the header, and it caused the thing to die. So all I did is go into Informatica, and I hit validate mapping. It told me exactly which field was wrong, and I corrected it. Simple as that. Okay, so our payoff. We have a higher CRM activity, which we believe results in increased revenue. So we had a Salesforce pilot in July. We had an initial revenue increase, and this is July of this year. We're literally within our first year of Salesforce, year and a half. Informatica Cloud was implemented in September, Actually, I guess that is from 2009, sorry. Our efficiency soared as sales reps were able to go into the system now and see all the information they needed in one place. So basically, they could spend time doing what we pay them to do, which is sell stuff, because they weren't going around trying to find information to sell stuff. So we're just getting started. Here is kind of where we are. We have Informatica Cloud, as I said. We also brand our Salesforce. We call it Touchpoint, very similar to yours, and I didn't steal it, even though I remember you from last time, but we didn't steal it. We're using it with a number of different partners right now, on-premise systems, third-party systems, other cloud systems, and this is where we'd like to go, and we're getting there very quickly. We plan on basically making Informatica the central place for all of this data to come through and find its way into our Touchpoint system. We'll also be using it, I think it was Zach who said he was mostly going out of Salesforce.com. We're going primarily into Salesforce.com, but we are looking at using Informatica to start going the other direction. So the results for us was integration was no longer just for IT. We had a greater collaboration between the business and IT. We have simplified our processes, and when we empower the business users to quickly tackle integration projects. So it's like what I mentioned earlier. You've got this great functionality within Salesforce.com where you can add fields and move stuff around and change names of things and all this. And if you can't turn around and respond to the data with the same amount of agility, it's essentially useless. So initially we brought Informatica Cloud into the system, into our business, and IT was maybe slightly reluctant that we brought it in, but there was no choice at that point, so they allowed it. And now it's actually being used by our IT group. A couple of slides ago, I had mentioned that on one of our schedules, and they're actually using it more and more. And even our Toshiba corporate office in Japan is also evaluating the cloud solution for some of their other companies.